Perfect. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for all showing up tonight. We know you're very, very busy. So we just want to honor your time. We're going to try and keep this to a minimum, hopefully between 20 and 30 minutes. So we would love if you could stay for the whole thing, but if you do have to shoot off, that's totally okay. So this is the first of our Wealth Wednesdays. We'll be going over the opportunity of network marketing, specifically with Isagenix. And this will be paired monthly with a Wellness Wednesday, which will go over the products a little bit more. So you get a little bit of both. We won't go too much into products today, but there will be our first Wellness Wednesday, the first Wednesday of November. So if you are looking to amp up your product knowledge, that is the call to get on and to get your people on as well. So I will start off just by introducing myself. So my name is Jen. I am based in Canada. I'm a certified personal trainer, certified nutrition coach. I'm now a gym owner, a studio owner, and I have been with Isagenix for just over 14 months. I also have a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, totally irrelevant, as most of our degrees are. So on that note, I'll tell you what I was doing before network marketing. So before network marketing, I was actually a sponsored athlete. I was your typical Instagram girl. I thought I was living the dream. I was participating in affiliate marketing, which is very similar to network marketing, kind of similar to referral marketing. But most people don't make any money, and it all is about the ego and not about the service. So I loved the idea of, being sponsored by this supplement company. Meanwhile, behind the phone screen, I guess you could say, I wasn't actually even really using the products. They kind of made my tummy hurt, and I used to tell my boyfriend that their protein shakes tasted like liquid cement. So it really was all about the ego. And it was very much a competitive space, both online and in person. As a personal trainer, it was all about competition. I was always fighting for the next client. I was fighting for the client with the good time slot because no one wants to wake up at 4 a.m. But if anyone else out there is in that industry, in the fitness industry, you know that you can't really choose those things if you want to earn money. So you kind of just take what you can get. And that led me to being really miserable in my job. And I loved what I did, but it didn't light me up. And at the other end of it, I wasn't taking care of myself either, because I was so busy trying to take care of everyone else and pay my bills as well. And I was also a complete total skeptic of the entire network marketing industry. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. I thought I was well better than anything to do with network marketing. And I actually turned down the opportunity to look at Isagenix for 2.5 years. And it kind of got to that point in my career where I was sick of waking up at 4 a.m. and getting home at 9 p.m. I used to say that I felt hungover all the time because I was so exhausted and I was broke. I remember not knowing where I was going to go next and how I would ever make enough money or have enough spare time to even do things like start a family or buy a house. So I knew that something had to change for something to change. And that's when I kind of let go of the ego for half a second to take a deeper look at it. So again, life as a trainer, a super inconsistent schedule, inconsistent income. You are basically paid by your clients. If they don't show up, if they cancel, if they don't renew, you're out of that entire income stream. So it's really constantly always trying to find the next client, find where your next paycheck's coming from, the early mornings, late nights, like I was saying. You can't really have a proper social life because you're always giving those social hours to other people. And most of the times you end up working weekends. And a lot of the time, for a long time, I was working every day of the week because, like I said, I had to take what I could get. And I personally was too stubborn to do this, but I know a lot of personal trainers and other health professionals who end up picking up side jobs like bartending, serving, just to live off the tips because they don't really want to give up on the dream of being a health professional, but at the same time, they can't even put food on the table. So this is the reality that a lot of health and wellness professionals are living in. And I know it firsthand because I was that person and I was too skeptical to do anything about it or too egotistical to do anything about it. And I thought maybe one day things would change, and it got to the point where things weren't changing. And I always used to say, oh, that's a problem for future Jen. And then future Jen showed up and she was still struggling. And I realized future Jen at 40 could not hack it if present Jen at 26 couldn't. So that's when I knew things had to change. I would love to introduce you to my very good friend and business partner, Rebecca. So Rebecca, if you don't know her, she is a holistic nutritionist, but before that, she was a vice president of sales for a Fortune 1000 real estate company. So this woman knows business. She knows what it's like to make money. She knows what it's like to handle money. But really for her, I'll let her go more into her past before Isagenix, but she was really looking for a different lifestyle and physical transformation. She had the salary. She didn't have the free time. She didn't have the freedom. She wanted to have kids, and that just wasn't going to be possible. And it got to the point where she had to really choose career or lifestyle / family. She ended up leaving her corporate career after joining Isagenix after 1 year. She started off as a product user, had an incredible transformation, which we'll see in a few slides, and decided maybe there's something here for me. And she went all in, working part-time plus, as we like to say. So, 10 hours one week, 30 hours the next, just really when it could work in her schedule. And that's what this is all about. And she has earned in the past 5 years almost $1 million. It's going to be $1 million next year. We were talking about that today, but she has earned $800,000 residually with Isagenix over the last 5 years while staying home, and now with her 2 children and her husband.
Thank you, dear. Let's see if I'm going to attempt to pin my video really quickly. I'm so excited to be on this call. We haven't done one of these for a while, and not to get too emotional, but I am a postpartum mother. I have a 6-month-old, and I was sitting out today at lunch on my backyard, reading a book for my parenting class tonight. And I was like, wow, things have really changed. And so, before Isagenix, as Jen said, I had a corporate career, but actually before that, even my degree is in journalism. I've always loved writing. I've loved content. I love finding out about things, what makes people and things tick, and then explaining it. And after working for a daily paper for 3 years, and literally, as Jen said, I was doing the noble thing of doing my degree and working at a paper. It sounded really, really glamorous. I was an editor and then a reporter, and I had a side job as a bartender because I was making about $4 an hour as a reporter, working full time. And it was my passion, but I knew I could not survive on that. It was not going to survive. I was not going to be able to survive going to a bar only on Tuesday nights because at 4 o'clock they started quarter drinks, and that's all I could afford when I wasn't bartending. But I got into real estate young, and I remember one of my first real estate mentors said to me, there's 3 ways to make money. You can trade your time for money. You can work a job, and that's what I think I knew. You can hire people that will work for you and they will help make money for you, or you can make your money make money. And I remember that's really interesting, but I didn't get it at that time. And now I do. So I was in corporate America from kind of 23 on. I was in sales and marketing. I enjoyed it, but mostly I enjoyed it because I could make really good money. And I grew up, my mom qualified for welfare when we were little. I grew up kind of lower middle class and worked really hard. So my parents worked really hard at very physical blue collar jobs. And I knew that financial security was important to me. So a job in sales where I could make 6 figures was very attractive, but it came with a very heavy price tag. And it was stress. That was my health. That was pulling all-nighters. That was working weekends. It was burning up my adrenals. It was constantly going. And I used to joke that, man, this job is really getting in the way of me living my life. And I just kind of thought that's what it was. It was you have a job, you work, 80 hours a week, and then you live for, it's not even the weekends. It was the half day off that I wasn't on call. But I've also always been health obsessed, and it started started just from my journalism background of like wanting to understand how to optimize my health in my life, but really hit home for me about 10 years ago when my boyfriend at the time got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and ended up passing away from cancer at 31. So I became obsessed with understanding like stress management and nutrition and got certified in holistic health and integrative nutrition. Ironically, I used to coach a lot of friends and like people would just ask me about nutrition and I would share what I knew, but I never was looking to actually nutrition coach. And the reason is I made such a great income in corporate America that I didn't want to take a huge pay cut to do something that I actually felt was more impactful. So I was really torn there. So when I found Isagenix, I was looking to lose like 10 pounds. Let's see. There's my transformation. That was about 60 days. I wanted to get a little bit more fit for my wedding. I was engaged at the time. And I also was so stressed out at work, even though I was eating really clean and I was like already dairy-free, gluten-free, doing all the things, anti-inflammation diet. I just could not release weight. And a lot of it was due to stress. Because when your cortisol or your stress levels are really high, it suppresses human growth hormone. So it stops our body's ability to not just release weight, because not everyone is looking to lose weight, but to like be in our prime health. And I think that everyone can relate to that, especially if you're in the wellness profession of working long hours, working a lot. And even if you know what to eat, even if you're working out, like why aren't you achieving that like 10 out of 10 on health? Because we know it's about 80% nutrition, 20% exercise, but you cannot have optimal health if your stress levels are really high. So I had this great salary, but I just didn't have the lifestyle. I didn't feel great in my body. And I started Isagenix as a product user, obviously had a great transformation. And I got so obsessed with just the products. And then what I found was in talking to other people in nutrition is they were having so many of the struggles that Jen had talked about. So I had friends that were in Isagenix and friends that were in other nutrition, like nutrition pursuits. So chiropractors, nutritionists, doulas, etc. And all these people who I felt were doing really impactful things because they were helping people be healthier, but they were struggling with the long hours. They were struggling with not making enough money. And I'm like, this is not fair that people that are creating so much impact aren't making money. And that is one of the things that I got really interested in Isagenix, as I found that yes, people that had knowledge of nutrition, but also people that had zero knowledge of nutrition, zero business background. Like it didn't really matter what you came into it with, as long as you had a lot of heart to help people and also just to go, that people could be earning an income. And in the first 6 months of being a product user, I referred like a dozen friends and earned more than enough to pay for my 6 months product. And I remember saying, there's something here. I need to look at this, because just like Jen, I was already in my 30s. I was in my mid 30s and I went, this wishing that life was different is not actually doing anything. And I wanted to be able to be home with my children, but still have income coming in. I live in Silicon Valley. It is the most expensive place to live in the United States, even more expensive than Manhattan. So I knew that without a 6-figure income, we couldn't keep the lifestyle that we have. And adding 2 people into it and being the type of mom that wants to give my kids like bamboo disposable diapers and only wooden toys and Montessori education, like that was going to be costly. And I didn't want to have to make hard decisions and not be able to provide my kids and myself with the things that were important to me. But I also didn't want to be working 80 hours a week and having to commute. So Isagenix came into my life. And like Jen said, I was able to leave my job within about a year, just a little over a year of starting product. And that's not typical. We want to let you know that we can't make any income claims. It really depends upon someone's work ethic, what they're willing to put into it, their network, all of those things. But for me, when I saw light on the other side of the tunnel, that this could be a way out of corporate America, not necessarily to make more money, even though like, why wouldn't I want something that wasn't capped? But it was time, it was choice. It was the ability to some days to work in my yoga pants and not in a 3-piece suit. And it was really about designing a life that I wanted. And I used to think that was kind of BS when people said that. I'm like, designing a life, like, come on. So let's just talk about why Isagenix. Like, why did I leave a career where when I left, I was the youngest female VP. I was actually the youngest VP in our entire company, but I was one of the youngest female VPs in the real estate industry. And so I really left at what would have been the peak of my career, where I would have had to go back to school to get an MBA if I wanted to move up. But why would I leave this Fortune 1000 really kind of ego-driven role with the car allowance and the corner office and the 401k for network marketing? So let's just talk about why Isagenix, because I didn't really leave for network marketing, though I love the business model. I left specifically because Isagenix does it right. Number one is Isagenix is a consumable product. Now, why is this important? Is it's a want product. It's a need product versus a want product. So need products are consumables. You have to eat food every single day. You need to eat food, right? Well, except for days you're cleansing, but you're still taking in nutrition. But products that are want products are things like makeup, oils, leggings, like products that if you lose your job, you will stop buying those nice to haves, but not need to haves. Consumable products, especially around food, anti-aging, health, etc., those are recession proof. In fact, studies have shown and stats have shown that in times when the economy dips and people are looking to create more income, network marketing, it's specifically with consumable products, actually goes up. Isagenix is debt-free. I've worked for 2 different Fortune 1000 companies, one that was a Fortune 150, both that were publicly traded. I've also worked for a private company that had $1 billion in assets and more than $1 billion in debt. So I was part of the real estate recession. I should say I experienced it. And so being part of a company that is debt-free is incredibly important to me. The fact that they're not public, I actually love, because what I found often with public companies, it was ready, fire, aim. It was doing what was right for the stockholder, not for the customers. And also, I love the fact that wealthy people really understand the value of having multiple income streams. Again, being in Silicon Valley, everyone here has either real estate or they have some type of investments, stock market. Most people have multiple streams of income, whether that's like they're doing a startup, but they're receiving royalties for something else. So really wealthy people, they never close their mind to opportunities. Now they look at it with a skeptical mindset, absolutely, and they vet it, but they never ever say no to at least looking into something. And that is something I would impress upon you if you're watching this, is if you really educate yourself to network marketing, it isn't what it was in the 70s and 80s. It is absolutely moving into a space that half the households right now in America at least purchase a network marketing product. The question is, are you the person purchasing, or are you the person that is receiving compensation when someone purchases? I want to be on both. And it's a global market. We are no longer bound by brick and mortars. Like we don't have to, Jen will talk about this, have inventory. We don't have to have a physical location. The fact that I can do this from my phone or my computer, anywhere I have wireless, or even days that I have none of it, but my team does. And then leveraging your network and your time. So it's so amazing that I have people that I worked with in jobs that I didn't really love that are now people that I collaborate with. You have the ability, like I said, to do this from anywhere, but I have been on trips in Europe and met someone. I met a woman on a train who is a coach in the UK, and we talked about Isagenix. She got started, and it's something that she's interested in, building residual income. So you just never know where you'll meet people. And what I always like to say is, like, who do you want to be your business partner? I don't know about you, but I have definitely worked some jobs where I did not enjoy everyone I worked with. And so when you can pick working with people that are positive, that is a huge gift. And competition versus collaboration. So if I want to be the one-woman show and totally irreplaceable, which is what corporate America teaches you, I think, often. And I don't want to bash corporate America, because there's people I want to stay in corporate America, like my accountant. Like, please don't go into network marketing. You do a great job managing my money. But, competition versus collaboration is when you are a solopreneur, it often feels like you're competing against everyone else out there that does what you do. In network marketing, instead of getting 100% of the effort of one person, you get 1% of 100 people's efforts. Or in my case, I have a team of 14,000. So I get a 1% of each of their efforts, or whatever it is of those of them that are business building. Jen, let's see, we'll talk a little bit more here. Ability to serve any client. Are you going to talk about this?
Yeah, I can.
Go for it.
Yeah, so we have the ability to serve any type of client. So again, when I was in the gym, personal training, I was maxed out at about 13 clients, I think. And I didn't have literally any room to budge unless I wanted to do shift workers at 2 a.m., which wasn't going to happen. So we have the ability to serve any type of client for any need, whether it's just getting a little bit healthier, whether it's weight wellness, performance, anti-aging, or again, financial wellness. So there's really something for everyone here. And we are expanded into 18 markets. So I have clients literally who I've never met before, and probably will never meet in the future, because this industry gives me the ability to reach literally every corner of the earth. Whereas if you're in a gym, in an office, whatever you're doing in that profession, you're kind of stuck there. And our income is not tied to the hours of the day. So if you don't know what residual income is, I would definitely recommend looking it up. As they say, if you knew what residual income was, everyone would be running through brick walls to get it. So this means that you're getting paid even when the work stops. So you do the work once and you will see the benefit of that in Isagenix forever, because not to get too much into the compensation plan, but we go infinite levels deep. There's a lot of different network marketing companies that stop after, 3 or 4 levels, and that's all you'll get paid on. But if I was to bring in a customer tomorrow and they set up an account and they shop for their groceries for the next 15 years, I'm getting paid every single time they shop, and I don't have to take them through a consultation. I don't have to go meet them at their house with a pair of dumbbells. They're literally doing it, and I'm getting paid just for that initial introduction and that initial coaching process. And then a huge thing is no inventory or stock holding. We have no buy-ins. You don't have to purchase all your products and then hope that you're going to, sell it off or push it on family and friends and make them feel really uncomfortable. We have nothing of that. You do not hold any stock. It is literally all done online. You help someone get set up, it's delivered to their door in 2 to 3 days. So you basically, when you join a network marketing company, you are joining an online franchise and you are the owner of that franchise.
My favorite
The best part, the best part is you're eating your overhead. I'm going to touch on different types of overheads that I personally have experienced as a personal trainer and now a gym owner that I'm currently experiencing. But again, there's no initial buy-ins. All you do is pay for your products. Your first month, you get set up on a pack. You have an incredible transformation. The minimum spend really is about $150 US, and that is to have, again, a fully functioning health and wellness franchise. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay for insurance or liabilities or stock or utilities or anything like that. It's all taken care of. You purchase your products every month, you eat them, and you get paid. That's it. So you're literally eating your overhead. So all of that, all of your rent essentially is being used and put into your body, and that's food you'd be eating anyways.
Can I give a quick example here, Jen?
Yeah, of course.
So one of the things that was so attractive to me about Isagenix is that I had so many passions that I had no time to pursue. And so that was, in my corporate career, it was literally like, I just didn't have the time. So it was pushing things off like someday. And why I say I went part-time plus with Isagenix is once I, replaced my income at work and I retired myself from corporate America or left corporate America, I said, I never want to be doing again where I'm working 60 or 70 hours a week on a job, especially something I don't enjoy. And so with ISA, I was able to, put in, it depends. I mean, there was times I put in the 30, 40 hours a week, but then there was times like I went for 6 weeks and did no work to Europe, or, I had a baby 6 months ago and I took 4 months off and I didn't have to take disability pay, which if you're in the US, the maternity pay is a joke. It's 6 weeks of disability pay. But I had this passion for branding. So I started a branding business on the side. Natalie just went to our last retreat, but I want to let people know that even though this was something I had experience in, which a lot of people want to do a business they don't have experience in, we're nearly 2 years in and we're not a profitable business because every single piece of money we make in this branding business, from retreats, courses, workshops, et cetera, every single dollar goes back to reinvest into marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it's a passion project. Isagenix has given me the financial choice, the financial ability to do those things I'm passionate about and not have to make them profitable right away. But think about that. What if you did a side hustle for 2 years that you poured in, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of your time before you ever made a cent? With Isagenix, we have customers that make their money back and then make profit before their box arrives. Go ahead.
Okay, can you just go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so again, this is just my personal experience as a personal trainer, but I'm sure it is relatable to many professionals across the industry and outside of the industry. So take a real deep critical look on, are you spending more than you're making? So yes, you receive a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or every month, but what are you giving in return for that? And is it really of equal value? So I'll give the best example. When I first started as a personal trainer, I was living in the UK. The way gyms work out there is you have the choice of either working for free for them, cleaning their machines and cleaning their bathrooms, or you get to pay X amount of dollars or pounds per month, and then you basically get to rent their space. And then you go out into the world with no sales experience, no hands to hold, no mentors, and they say, good luck. You need to, get X amount of clients just to cover your rent. So the option I went with was 10 hours a week of unpaid work. So I, again, would just clean the gym. I'd walk around, I'd give tours, I would try and find clients. And at that time, I was charging 25 pounds an hour for my personal training sessions. So if you were to think about it, those 10 hours a week, if I was to fill those with clients instead of working for free, I would be making an extra £1,000 a month. So I was essentially losing £1,000 a month, which is like 3 billion Canadian dollars. But no, it's like $1,700 that I was essentially just throwing up into the air in hopes that someone would train with me. I used to live off Tesco's pomegranate seeds and their $1 sandwiches. Like, that's how broke I was. And then the next example I want to give was when I moved back to Canada. So I was now an employee / a contractor of a gym. The gym was charging $80 a session for me to wake up at 4 a.m., drive to the gym in negative 30-degree weather in the middle of January, peel my eyes open, and I got a whopping $25 an hour for that. So they were making $55 off of me and my skills and my education and my time, and I was essentially losing all that. So I was essentially losing more than I was making, and I was completely miserable doing it. Left my job again, but it was absolutely excruciating. It was horrible. So are you spending more than you're making? Now, my current situation, I'm a gym owner. And, if you're a true entrepreneurial spirit, you will not wince at $150 a month. You will rejoice that that's all that it takes to run a fully fledged business. My gym, taking into account rent, insurance, utilities, and then I added $200 in for miscellaneous for toilet paper and cleaning supplies. It's about $4,200, and that is not including wages. So you add in wages, we're at the $10,000 mark just to have my lights on, essentially. And that's not guaranteeing anyone's walking through my door again. Our street could blow up that my gym is on and no one would ever come into my gym again, and I would still be tied into paying that rent, paying those utilities, paying that insurance, and I'd have no way out of it. So network marketing, specifically Isagenix, I believe is 100% zero risk. The worst that can happen is you don't enjoy your products, you send it back and you get all your pennies back, and you're in the same position as you are right this second. Or you give it a shot, give it 30 days, give it 60 days, give it 5 years, and you never know. I call it a condensed career. You can work your ass off, excuse language. You can work your ass off for 40 years for someone else and retire on 40% of that, or you can work your ass off for 5 years and retire. So the choice is really yours, and it's more about looking at that long-term solution rather than a get rich quick, because that's not what it is. But you need to think of, I should have thought of future gen a long time ago. Now I'm thinking of future gen, and you need to think of future you and what future you is going to look like.
Let's talk about how to get started. I mean, I think you're ahead of the game, because it could be worse. You could have started at 35 and be 39 years old now. But I'm just grateful I started it all. So how to get started is reach out to whoever sent you this, if you're on live or if you're watching the recording. You just open up a wholesale account. And what we love, like we talked about, is everyone pays the same price. There's no buy-in, you're not stocking inventory, and you're not paying one price like as a product user, another as a business builder. So everyone is at the same price point. So you can just be a product user like I was for the first 6 months. So I would highly encourage you, don't wait 6 months to start sharing this, especially because if you're using it, you're going to have an experience. And once you have an experience, you're going to understand that the people around you are either looking for more energy or more clarity or weight loss or convenience or healthy aging or performance. They're looking for one of the solutions that Isagenix is looking for or offers. The other thing they might be looking for, if they're not looking to improve their health in one of those categories, is almost everyone out there needs more money. Let's be real about the fact that most people are in debt and they have more month than money. Okay. So that's the other product that Isagenix offers, is actually income creation or wealth solutions. Second, you could just be a casual sharer. That's how I kind of started out. When I love something, I can't stop talking about it. And the fact that they paid me, it just made me want to talk about it more because I already loved it. But when you see hundreds of dollars getting dropped into your bank account that you don't even know you're getting, you don't have to understand the compensation to experience it. I started talking about it more. So you can be a casual sharer that eats for free or gets paid a little. So basically you can pay to eat, you can eat for free, or you can literally get paid to eat. Pay to eat, eat for free, or get paid to eat. And this is where it's an income stream creator. And we have people that are earning, a couple $100s a week, which absolutely makes a big dent in whatever. It just gives you more choice in life. And we have people that are earning thousands of dollars a week. And so you decide, what level of effort you want to make and what your goals are, and the tools and the, kind of mentorship is set up for you. So anyone really can be successful here if you've got the heart for it, if you're, willing to grow. You do not need to have a sales background. You actually don't need to have a wellness background. In fact, if anything, those of us with wellness backgrounds, we love to go to work to complicate it because we come from this industry where our knowledge is what sets us apart. And actually in network marketing, you don't have to be that special. You just have to work it. So whichever of those three you are, you can start at any of them, but you absolutely do need to consume the product because you want to become that walking billboard. You want to become that, that shiny, happy person. And also everyone around you deserves you to be the best version of yourself. Anything else to add in, Jen, before we knock off?
Nope, I think you got it.
Perfect. Well, we will have this recorded and definitely share this with anyone you think that, may be interested. And don't prejudge. I mean, be a skeptic for yourself, but don't ever prejudge for someone else. Because I know if someone maybe would have looked in from the outside at me and said, well, she's making, multiple six figures, she's successful in her career, I would have been destroyed with the fact that I could have been doing this and if I wasn't. Same thing with Jen, right? Just because she was fit and just because she seemed like she had it all together doesn't mean she wasn't looking to have more choice, more income, more health, and more opportunity in her life. So we hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.